Hi everyone! Welcome back to a new video. I don't know, I feel so excited filming this video. I think it's because quarantine is getting to me and there is just not that much to do, and I'm really missing hugging my friends and just being in touch with people. And so yeah, this is kind of the only way these days to be in touch with people. So today we are talking about relationships. One of my favorite topics, as you know, because I have written an award-winning book called Love Life Simplified, and if you haven't read it, that's now your chance. If you're staying home in quarantine, you can download it on Kindle or you can order your copy because Amazon's still delivering, even though it's a bit slower than usual, but it's still working. And so today I want to talk to you about a concept that I only recently learned, and it's a concept that I learned in the coaching program that I joined, Self-Coaching Scholars, and it's just so interesting. So the concept we're talking about is that our relationships only exist in our mind, and that our relationships basically are only our thoughts. Now, if this is the first time you're hearing this, and it's only been recently that it was the first time for me that I was hearing this, it might sound very odd, but just stay on and listen to the end of the video and you'll see how it all actually makes sense. When I say relationships are in our mind, relationships are only our thoughts. So there's three different categories that I'm going to talk about. The first one is a relationship is what I think they think of me. So one part of our relationship is what you think the other person thinks about you. Because obviously, if you have any evidence or you have any reason to believe that the other person thinks bad about you, whether you're right or wrong, you either won't want a relationship with this person or you maybe don't like them. And yeah, it's just not going to be a relationship or a good relationship if you think that the other person is negatively thinking of you. Then the second part to this is what you think of them. So what do you think about the other person? So you would probably only want to be friends or in any kind of relationship with people that you think highly of, that you think really positive thoughts about. If you have very negative thoughts about a person, you will either not want to be in a relationship with this person, you won't have a good relationship with this person, or it's just kind of like a relationship that's dragging on, that has good and bad parts. Because here's the thing, we often have positive and negative thoughts about people, usually about the people that are closest to us. The people that are good friends, but they are kind of still at a distance, they're not like the closest friends. With these people, it is, I find, and please share your insights in the comments below because I'm very interested in your opinion, but I find that the people that are good friends but kind of at a distance, I find it the easiest to have very positive thoughts about them. And then the people that are closest to me, I find myself having positive and negative thoughts, but I'm trying to work on just having positive thoughts about them because the negative thoughts are destructive in the relationship. But I find that the closer somebody is to you, or if you're living with somebody, you are kind of like what people say now about the coronavirus crisis, that all relationships are kind of under a microscope, and that couples who live together now are seeing everything so much clearer. Although clearer sounds like they're seeing it in a better light, but what I mean is that if there was a problem beforehand, it is probably rising to the surface now, and if there wasn't, then maybe you still find some habits of the other person that you don't like, that you usually don't mind when you... Okay, I don't know what's going on. Somebody is hammering next door. Okay, that you usually don't bother with when you go about your day and you just see each other certain times of the day. Yeah, so I think that couples that are living together having a certain struggle right now, and couples who are not living together obviously have a certain struggle because they can't see each other. And yeah, but that's not the topic for today. The third and last point on my list is what I think of me in relation to them, and this could also just be what I think of me. And I think we very often underestimate that what we think of ourselves really influences what other people think of us or how they treat us, because the more highly we think of ourselves, and that's not meant in an arrogant way, more like in a kind, self-loving way, the more highly we think of ourselves and we really practice these thoughts, because these are thoughts that are usually not given to us. Like our brain, I've said this in several videos, but it's just so important to mention it again. Our brain is just trained for survival, and that's why our brain is always looking for the negative, because it wants to keep us safe. So we must know where are the negatives so that we can keep safe. The only problem is, and this is a massive problem, that it keeps coming up with so many negative things that it puts too less attention to positive things, and we sometimes sometimes we destroy more than we create. And I just don't want to generalize this, and I'm not saying that I'm doing that or that you're doing this, but we have to be very, very careful that we use our thoughts to positively create and not to negatively destroy. And that doesn't mean that we should never have any negative thoughts, because they simply come up. And there's also no good in it if we continuously judge ourselves for those. However, back to the actual point that I wanted to make is that something that I've mentioned before in another video is that the more we value ourselves, the more other people are valuing us. And so it is very, very important what we think of ourselves, and it's showing up in every area of our life how we think of us. So if you have created a very positive life for yourself, and what I mean by that is that you have very supportive and encouraging friends who love you and who and you have a career that you like, you have a partner that I mean, nobody really has a completely perfect life. Everybody has struggles along the way, and that is perfectly normal. But if you can see in your life that you've generally created what you've wanted, then your thoughts about yourself are likely to be on the good side. And if you don't see in your life what you want to see, now none of us probably doesn't see everything that we've wanted, because this is a process of creation. We continuously create. But if you can say, hey, I've already created this and this, and I'm so grateful and so happy about it, and now I'm facing this challenge, or I want to draw this into my life, then you are already on a very good path. But if you say, I hate my life, I don't see anything good in it, I don't have anybody who supports me, then the first thing you need to do is start to support yourself, and that's with your thoughts. You need to start thinking good thoughts about you. For example, I deserve to have really good friends. I deserve to have a partner who supports me. I deserve to have a career that fulfills me. And just start there. And it's very important to continuously do that and not just think, okay, I'm just gonna do that for one day and then I'll see what it does. And if it doesn't do anything, I'll just say that it doesn't work and that was it. No, we need to be a bit more persistent with what we want to create, because things will not come into place in one day. Some things may, but most things won't, and we just need to stay persistent. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that when we think, I'm sorry, I'm reading this because I made some notes. When we think of others negatively, we are the ones that feel that negative emotion because that's what we create. Isn't that so interesting? So if we keep people in our lives that constantly piss us off, sorry for my direct language, but who just annoy us, and we have just a very good reason to be annoyed, or so we think, then maybe we should think about whether we want to keep surrounding ourselves with that person. But generally speaking, we, like I mentioned before, we will have positive and negative thoughts about people. And isn't it interesting to think about that we are the only person who really create that negative feeling when we think these negative thoughts. And then also I wanted to mention at last that all of these three things are within our control. What I think they think of me is in my control, what I think of them is in my control, and what I think of me is in my control. What's not in my control is what they really think about me, what I actually don't know, but that's not in my control. And what I also found very interesting, I recently saw a coaching session with a mom who had the struggle with her daughter. Her daughter always wanted to play dolls all the time, and she felt that she was obliged to play dolls all the time, otherwise her daughter's gonna think she's a bad mother. And what was very, very interesting was that the coach said, even if you play dolls with your daughter 80% of the time and 20% of the time you say no, or even less than that, it is up to your daughter to decide how she thinks of you, and she could think that you never wanted to play dolls with her just because of the 20% that you said no. And this just shows that yes, okay, we do have some influence on other people's thoughts, but if we try to control their thoughts, we really make ourselves very unhappy because we start not to live authentically. So that was everything I wanted to share for today. I hope that you're safe, I hope that you're well, I hope that you're enjoying my YouTube videos, and I am posting every Thursday and every Saturday during the coronavirus crisis, during the lockdown, and then I will go back to my originally one video a week schedule when we go back to normal life, whatever that means. And yes, so if you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up. If you know somebody who would benefit from this video, please share it with them. And if you want to see more videos of me, please subscribe. I will see you later. Bye!